Disappointment for the BJP in the hills, but a big victory in Gujarat. To get a sense of what the party central leadership makes of the scoreline tonight, let's go across to Leader of the Opposition in the Rajya Sabha. Mr. Arun Jaitley is joining us on center stage this evening. Mr. Jaitley, I want to begin with the results in Gujarat, and I must say congratulations on a hard-fought victory. You've been campaigning extensively. We saw you work in the back room in Gujarat very hard in making this victory possible for the BJP. But many would argue that given the sort of expectations that had been set by Narendra Modi, by the BJP, the end tally doesn't give the BJP or Narendra Modi the sort of thumping majority that the party was building up expectations for. He's won, but a similar tally as last time. Several in the BJP were predicting 130, 140, 150. The sort of Nitish Kumar, Mamta Banerjee type victory hasn't happened, sir.
Well, nobody in the BJP predicted that kind of a victory. It's only the cephalogists in the media who started predicting from 105 seats right till 140 seats. Now the media creates its own campaign and then says, well, you haven't fared well according to my campaign. That's not the issue. This is the fifth election in a row by the BJP. This is the third election in a row by Narendra Modi. And to win with a width of margin, which is close to about a 9% margin in the state, I think is a very significant victory. And the BJP under Narendra Modi in Gujarat has done exceedingly well.
Would you concede now that the inability of the BJP to carry Keshubhai Patel with the party has damaged the prospects of the BJP? If Keshubhai Patel was not in the fray, the party could have ended up with more than a dozen extra seats. That's not happened because Narendra Modi and the BJP couldn't carry all elements of the Sangh Parivar with them.
Well, that's only a part of the truth. As far as the Sangh Parivar and the political workers of the BJP are concerned, I have seen thousands and thousands of them, literally lakhs and lakhs of them in action, all actively campaigning for the BJP. If a stray individual here or there had his own personal reservations, that was a personal issue. That had nothing to do with the Sangh Parivar or any of the Sangh Parivar organizations. As far as our inability to carry Keshubhai was there, we've always had a lot of respect for Keshubhai. We would have loved him to be a part of the BJP as we have done in the past. He's been one of our senior most people, but that's only half the truth. Yes, we could have done a little better without if he had been with us, but I am sure the other half of the truth also is without us, he also has a very strong challenge and he's rendered himself somewhat vulnerable politically.
After Narendra Modi won, Mr. Jaitley, we saw some very interesting portents. One, he went and immediately met Keshubhai Patel. He gave him a big laddu. I don't know whether Keshubhai Patel wanted that laddu or not, but he had one stuffed into his mouth. Was that part of a carefully orchestrated strategy? Is Narendra Modi now trying to reinvent himself, reaching out to his Betanois in these elections, and also during his victory speech asking for forgiveness? Will we now see the man try and reinvent himself, Mr. Jaitley?
Well, let me tell you, even in the 2007 election, Keshubhai Patel was not very happy. He did make statements which didn't exactly help the party. And immediately after his swearing in, Narendra Modi went straight to Keshubhai's house to seek his blessing. Now, in politics, even with opponents, there is always an act of dignity or grace which is available. And I think his going to Keshubhai after the declaration of results was actually an act of grace, and I'm sure Keshubhai would have responded accordingly.
While Narendra Modi's victory speech was going on, and we just played it out on our channel, there were lots of chants. The chants went CM in 2002, PM in 2014, hit and fit for PM, this is the trailer, watch the film in 2014. There is a lot of pressure now from the BJP cadre, the RSS workers. They would like to see Narendra Modi be projected as the BJP's prime leader. Do you see that pressure working with the BJP central leadership? What's your understanding of it, sir?
Well, Narendra Modi is a very, very important leader as far as the BJP is concerned. He is certainly a very, very strong person in terms of the likes of BJP workers whom they admire. And therefore, when he scores an emphatic, decisive victory of this kind, which is a third in a row, it's but obvious that workers have much greater aspirations from him. Now, what is in store in future, I can't tell you today. The party at the right time will take the most appropriate decision.
Will you call Narendra Modi first amongst equals now in the BJP, sir?
Well, Narendra Modi certainly is extremely popular as far as the BJP rank and file is concerned. Within the party, we have a galaxy of leadership, and he certainly is amongst the most important leaders amongst the whole lot.
Would you accept that he is the most popular leader of the BJP at this time?
He is extremely popular.
Is he the most popular? You're hedging the question, sir. Is he the most popular leader of the BJP?
Well, you are entitled to ask the question with the facility of your vocabulary, and I am entitled to answer it with the facility of my limited vocabulary. And therefore, he is an extremely popular leader as far as the BJP is concerned.
Do you think there is a need for Narendra Modi over the next few months, Mr. Jaitley, to reinvent himself? Because we saw the Dalits, we saw tribals, we saw the minorities, and the post-poll projections done by ORG on our channel showed that in their sample, 86% of the minorities who were polled said they'd voted for the Congress, not for the BJP. There is a trust deficit that exists despite Mission Sadbhavna. Do you think over the next few months the Gujarat CM needs to work on trying to bridge that trust deficit?
I think you'll have to revise those figures a little. There was a very large rainbow coalition of caste, communities, religious groups which was supporting Narendra Modi. He got more seats than Keshubai in Saurashtra. He got more seats than Shankar Singh Waghela in areas where Waghela's community is strong. Modi defies caste. He's above that. In the tribal belt of central Gujarat and south Gujarat, the BJP has done exceedingly well. Therefore, the kind of tribal vote we've got is also very large. Our share of the scheduled caste vote also has increased. And let me tell you, important areas of Ahmedabad city, two of them, Sarkhez and Jamalpur, which are minority dominated, the BJP has won both the seats. Therefore, our share of the minority vote, which was negligible, also has increased, if not substantially, certainly significantly.
One of the things which was said by Yogendra Yadav earlier in the day today, Mr. Jaitley, is that Narendra Modi's victory in Gujarat is similar to Rajapakse's victory in Sri Lanka. There is a dark side to the victor. That yes, he's won democratically, but there is a dark underbelly to the victory which cannot be ignored.
There is a dark side to that question and that comment. The dark side being that in a democracy, if somebody scores 3 emphatic wins in a fairly contested election, the inability of a critic to accept that result certainly has an inbuilt dark side to it.
Do you see going forward the possibility of a Narendra Modi versus Rahul Gandhi clash in 2014, Mr. Jaitley?
Well, I cannot predict what the 2014 election would be, but all I can tell you is the BJP's leaders or the leader of the BJP in any case will not represent dynasty. He will represent merit, he will represent performance, he will represent experience.
I also want to talk about the Himachal Pradesh result. If the BJP had ended up at 2-0, it would have been a dramatic day for the BJP. The fact is, you've lost in Himachal Pradesh, so there isn't any perceivable anti-UPA mood, as it were. It's going pretty much as per expectations. Is that a big blow to the BJP in terms of how you'd have liked to build up over 2013?
Well, it's certainly a disappointment for us because there was no anti-BJP mood in Himachal Pradesh. Mr. Dhumal ran a very good government and we were reasonably certain that we could have won the election. This is an election which we didn't lose really to the Congress. We lost to the 17 rebels of the BJP. Therefore, we had our own internal organizational problems. 3 of our rebels have won the election. The other 14 has made many of our candidates lose. And therefore, it is a defeat which is attributable to more a homegrown problem for the BJP than a victory for the Congress.
Manishankar Iyer was on our channel earlier this evening, Mr. Jaitley, and he said that Narendra Modi has no magic wand. He campaigned so extensively in Himachal Pradesh. If it were about Narendra Modi's popularity outside Gujarat, then the BJP would have won in Himachal as well. He made the point that, Gujarat is not India, and Narendra Modi being popular in Gujarat doesn't mean he's popular outside Gujarat.
Well, that's hardly a question which can be taken a serious note of. Nobody in politics has a magic wand. People win elections, people lose elections. But the fact is, the election of every state is on the environment and the politics of that state. And the single most important factor which has influenced the Himachal election is the internal problems of the BJP itself. I have no hesitation in admitting that categorically before you. Modi, who campaigned for one day and addressed 3 public meetings on Himachal, certainly could not have turned Himachal. The only limited point that I agree with Manishankar is that nobody in politics has a magic wand in his hand. His close friend Rajiv Gandhi scored 400 odd seats in the 1984 elections and couldn't even reach half the figure in the next election.
Okay, I'm going to leave it over there, Mr. Jaitley. Lots to think about both for the Congress and the BJP, but a big victory in Gujarat and a hat-trick in which you had a lot of role to play in putting this campaign together. Thank you very much for joining us on Center Stage tonight. And I also want to thank our viewers as I wrap up our broadcast this evening for having tuned in through the day. Using the latest gadgets, the latest technology and the best experts on television, we deconstructed these elections for you. It's been great having you with us. Thank you all so much for all the wonderful feedback that you've been giving.